Welcome to another Demarcation Media LEGO review. Today we're going to be taking a look at a really interesting Star Wars set. This is the Clone Trooper Command Station. I think that's its official name. It doesn't actually have it on the box, which is kind of weird. But we're not going to be looking at just one of these. We're going to be looking at more than one. Wait. There we go. So we're going to be looking at three here. I got three because I wanted to see how much army building potential this set has, because this is not really a battle pack. It's considered an accessory pack. LEGO has been doing accessory packs for a little while now, and usually they're not really army builder sets. But this is the first Star Wars accessory pack. It retails for $15. It has 3 troopers and some builds, so it's almost a battle pack, 1 figure shy and a few pieces shy of a battle pack. So I wanted to see, how does this stack up like as a battle pack, and is it really worth buying more than one of? So let's go ahead and crack these guys open. Yeah, I'm excited for this because it's been a long time since we've got an easy way to amass some clean, shiny Phase 1 clones. So before I actually open this, I just want to take a quick look at the packaging. We have Attack of the Clones branding up here. We see some plain clone troopers and then the commander. Dropships coming in. Blue stripe, which I've heard people complaining about. Like, oh, it should have been red because that's the Attack of the Clones color. Does it really matter? Like, it looks good. Does it really matter that it's blue and not red? That just seems really weird to me. Our package section is a minifigure shape, which looks really cool. Kind of makes the whole set feel a little more special. 3 figures. We get to see all the builds here. Our commander, one of our 2 troopers, weapons rack, and then the command post itself. And then around the back is a bunch of stuff nobody reads. And then we get to see our lineup of figures looking very cool. Now, supposedly you can open this easily. Usually blister packs are kind of a mess to open. But in theory, this will open up pretty easily. Like this, I guess. Oh, it's all one bag. I don't know why I didn't remember that. So, all one bag of parts. So let's do that for all 3. I don't often buy sets like for army building, but I'm a huge fan of the clones. They're one of the coolest aspects of Star Wars. And I could not pass up the opportunity to get my hands on some new shiny Phase 1 troopers. Although now I want LEGO to do some battle damaged ones as well. Come on. There we go. So yeah, each one is just one bag of parts. So we've got 3 sets here. The instructions look like just a big sheet. Looks like a pretty easy build. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a speed build here. It's been a while since I did a speed build. So let's go ahead and do this. Alrighty, there we go. All 3 sets are built. So each set comes with a command center and a weapons rack. So that's what each one has. We've got all of our clones over here. And then behind all of our clones, we have a whole pile of blasters that I need to equip. And then the interesting thing is that the only extras of the entire set is each one comes with one of these gray little bar and stud pieces. So you won't have a bunch of leftovers, which is a little strange because Lego usually puts a few more extras. Like I expected an extra maybe candlestick piece, like what's on the end of the blasters, but apparently not. So let me go ahead and equip all of the blasters, and then we'll take a look at one of the sets by itself first, and then we'll kind of go more into the army building aspect. The main draw of the set is the figures. That's kind of what the accessory packs are, is a way to get some good minifigures and a few extra cool pieces. So the minifigures here are really important. So we have 2 plain clone troopers. When I was younger, me and my brother would just refer to these guys as plain clones, just straight up. If there was a guy with no markings, he was a plain clone. So we've got 2 of those guys. And then we have what I believe is a commander. I think that's what this guy is. Now, this guy is a bit of a controversy because I don't know. Okay, no, never mind. I was going to say he wasn't released. Like, this color wasn't released when the first, like, Attack of the Clones wave came out. But I'm pretty sure he was. He was just kind of hard to get. And then LEGO decided to release him in the UCS gunship. And he was supposedly going to be exclusive. Made a lot of people mad. And so LEGO decided to then put him in this set, which is a $15 set. Which proceeded to make everybody mad, because not only is this guy not exclusive to the gunship anymore, he kind of took up a spot that could have been used to make a different like leading clone trooper. So this set seems to be loosely based on the Clone Troopers verse Droidicas. That's a bit of a tongue twister. And in that set, it came with a sergeant. I think that's what this guy is. So this is, I don't have the full Clone Troopers vs. Droidicas set anymore, but I do have the sergeant. And actually, I added that antenna, so let me take that off. So it's a little weird because there's these leading clones come in blue, red, yellow, and green. Instead of making a new one, LEGO just reused the one from the UCS gunship, and it kind of made everybody mad. And LEGO's reasoning was, oh, everybody needs to be able to get figures without paying a lot of money. Like, we want figures to be available to everybody. And I mean, that's great, but since when have they actually cared about that? Like, the Comic-Con exclusives, they never re-release Comic-Con exclusives in different sets. They don't, like, there are exclusive minifigures, and I don't know where this whole we don't want to make figures exclusive came from, and it's just making people mad. I'm not that mad about it. I just think that I would have preferred to get a different color. Like, green would have been great, even more kind of throwback to the Clone Troopers vs. Droidicas. Red would have been fantastic. He was really hard to get, the original Red. Like, I think Red was a captain. And then the blue guy was also really cool. I think he was the lieutenant. So any other color would have been great here. And I feel like they wasted, I don't know, it feels lazy just to put the same guy in and then make some kind of noble sounding reason. It just sounds like they're excusing their own laziness. And I don't want to sound that harsh to LEGO, but that's really what it feels like. But it is what it is. The figure is really cool. We have an updated helmet print. So the original guys had a silver visor to kind of match the shininess that we saw in Attack of the Clones. Now, the interesting thing about these new clones is that they're kind of a hybrid between the Clone Wars version and the movie version. So you can see the chest armor is much more Clone Wars-esque as opposed to how like long the chest plate is on this side, which I think that's really cool. I like the idea of making a hybrid between the two designs because I love aspects of both. And that's what LEGO has done here. And I've seen people complaining too, like these little marks on the side. I think there's like 5 or 6 there, and there's like only 4 there. Like one's missing on this side or on this guy. And people are mad about that. And I don't understand. It's just some little marks. Like, of all the things, that's like, if you're going to make something inaccurate, make it there. It's fine. We have printed legs. That's very, very cool. The previous clones didn't have printed legs very often. Print around the back. Again, it's very different. More the hybrid between the Clone Wars and the live action. which is great. I really love that. I know people are mad and saying it's not accurate to either, but I think LEGO did a really cool thing with mixing the two designs. Then underneath we have the new Clone Trooper helmet or Clone Trooper face as opposed to the old Angry Clone. So there's a better skin tone, better expression, and just overall is better. So the Commander is a great figure. He's just kind of weird. I would have preferred to see something else. And he comes armed with a normal like blaster rifle. Now, our plain dudes, they have the same kind of hybrid Clone Wars live action armor, which looks fantastic. These clones have never looked better. Because I always liked the way that the Clone Trooper armor looked in the Clone Wars, but I loved how sharp the mouths were on the live action versions. So in my opinion, this is the perfect combination of the two. They look fantastic. And they come armed with these. They have the normal like blaster rifles with the candlestick on the end. I'm not really sure why, because the ones like this guy has, just with nothing on it, have always been used to represent the clone's normal blasters. So I'm not really sure what this is supposed to be, because we also get their rifles, which we'll look at in a second. So I don't know what these kind of in-between guns are. They look a little strange to me. Maybe somebody in the comments could tell me why there's like a third gun. Because I always thought that, from all I noticed in like the Clone Wars and the movies and whatnot, the clones have their normal blasters, they have pistols, and they have big giant rifles. I never remember an in-between kind of thing. So that's a little odd to me. But the clones themselves look fantastic. They're so sharp looking. I'm really, really happy with these guys. They look amazing. Our builds aren't half bad either. So we get this kind of portable, deployable looking weapons rack. We've got a little computer thing here, and the rifles just kind of plug on there. And these are the rifles I was talking about. These are the big long ones that the clones used a lot, like ridiculously long looking. They look pretty accurate. And see, this is what I think of when I think of the clone rifles, not those other ones. Those confuse me. But so yeah, we have options here. So you could pop the shorter gun onto here and give your troopers bigger guns, depending on what you want your battle scene to look like. Or if you just need some extra blasters for other Star Wars figures you've got the option here as well. So that's great. The colors look great. Really happy with that. And then the command post, I kind of have a little bit of nostalgia for this because I really loved the Clone Troopers vs. Droidekas set. And that was kind of the same build. These are really, really scaled down, both the older version and this one. In the movie, they're really big and you fit a bunch of people on there. But this is basically a little command post that can be flown in, drop down, and give kind of a forward operating base for any sort of assault. So we've got little ramps on the sides that can be folded up, like so, folded down. LEGO always shows these things hovering around like a speeder, which I guess you could do that. It looks kind of like a speeder, but I think usually they're dropped in by another vehicle. We have like a radar thing on top, little one here, and the back doesn't do anything, which is great. The old one used to like fold back and there would be a missile inside, and it was kind of weird, but they didn't do that this time. And I really like that. This is a really solid build, and after building two of them, I didn't even need the instructions for the third one. So if you want a smaller child to build it, I'm sure they would have a lot of fun with it. And then these pieces right here are not something I've really seen before. I know they've been in other sets before this one, but this just looks really, really nice and makes the shaping really great. Then we can put our commander in there, and he is ready to direct the battle. There's a bunch of printed consoles in there. They're from Ninjago, but the language on there looks similar to Arabesh. And you can have him positioned looking backwards at his screens here, or just looking forward here. Or you can kind of position him walking down. So yeah, there's a lot of options here. It's definitely scaled down from what we see in the movie, but I'd say that it's useful. And there's some really cool pieces on here if you want to just take it apart and build your own thing. Oh yeah, before we move on, I wanted to drop in one of the Phase 2 501st Troopers. You can see they're using the same kind of hybrid Clone Wars live-action design. The leg prints are pretty much identical except for the added blue. Chest prints are almost identical except for the added blue. So they look pretty nice side by side. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we get a set that reuses everything from this guy except with a plain white Phase 2 helmet. That would be so good. Now it's time to talk about the army building capabilities of this set. So this is a $15 set, which means for $15 you get 2 normal clone troopers, a commander, a command post, and a weapons rack. It seems pretty fair to me. Maybe a little on the pricey side, but then again, LEGO has been really getting pricey with their Star Wars stuff. The new Mandalorian, like Naboo Starfighter, is $70 and only has 400 pieces, which is absolutely obscene, and that's just ridiculous. The new battle packs are $20, and I know people are complaining about this set, and they're like, it's not worth the $15, we should have the extra figure. But if the battle packs are now $20, why would they put another figure in here and sell us this set for $15? So honestly, in my opinion, this set feels more worth the price than the $20 battle packs, because you get almost the same amount of like building to it. Maybe there's less parts, which these sets have 66 parts each. That's kind of ironic. But yeah, so I think value-wise, it's kind of on par with LEGO's Star Wars pricing. It's a little on the high side, but for this one, it's worth it. So to buy 3, this would be a little over like $47, which that's kind of a lot to drop at once. I was lucky. I had a bunch of VIP points, so I ended up paying only like 26 for all 3, which is great. If you have the VIP points, go ahead and buy it. That's a great way to get clones. So that's all. That's kind of, the price is good-ish, as good as we could hope for with LEGO Star Wars these days. What you get is good. The downsides are, first of all, this is only available at least in the US, in LEGO stores and on LEGO Shop at Home. So that's a bit of a problem, which means there's only a few places to buy this at retail, and you're probably never going to see it go on sale, and it keeps selling out really, really fast. So that's the downside number 1. Downside number 2 is that for every 2 clones you get a commander, which means if you want to amass a nice little army like this, so I think 6 clone troopers is a nice little squad to have. They'll fill up a photo really well, and I think it's just kind of a really good round number. But that means I have 3 commanders now, which is cool. I mean, they look like cool figures, but you don't need 3 commanders. You probably could use 1 commander for every 6 clones, but instead of giving us a lower rank, more common figure in the smaller set, LEGO decided to go with the commander, and so now we get too many commanders. So that's the other downside. The builds are fairly massable as well. You could kind of set up a whole like front lines with command posts every now and then, with, you know, put the weapons racks around. So that's good. Compared to like the 501st Battle Pack, I'd say this is pretty on par with that one, with the major downside being you do get too many commanders. The 501st pack just had a bunch of 501st troopers and a jet trooper, so you didn't really have to worry about getting figures that couldn't be massed. But that was $30. So this is definitely a lot easier to get more figures for cheaper, I think, overall. And you don't have to end up with battle droids if you don't want more battle droids, stuff like that. So overall, I think the bottom line is that this set is a good army builder, but it's also a little bit awkward as well. It's not as good an army builder as the old battle packs were, when they would just give us 4 clones and kind of leave it at that, or give us like attachments. That's one thing I miss, that they didn't give us any attachments for the helmets, which is kind of sad. But yeah, like the old battle packs, we'd get like 3 normal clones and then a gunner, and those are all really massable figures. And you could make a commander by adding the extra pieces on. So it was a good option. We don't have the option to make this guy not a commander. He just is a commander. So it's a good army builder. It's just a little bit awkward. But I would say at the end of the day, this is a better set than the Hoth Battle Pack, purely because clones are just more usable. And I feel like you get more for what you're paying. $15 for the builds and the 3 figures, as opposed to $20 for the builds that look pretty much the same size and same amount of pieces, and then 1 extra figure. So you're just basically paying $5 for an extra figure. So maybe it's the same in the end, but to me, it feels like this is a better army builder than the Hoth Battle Pack. But that, again, that may just be me. Well, there you have it. That is the Clone Trooper Command Post, or Command Station, whatever it is. The fact that they didn't put the name on the box is kind of annoying. Makes remembering the name a little bit more difficult. So, there's a lot of mixed opinions about this set online. There's a lot of complaints about really minor kind of, no offense to anybody who has this opinion, but there are some really kind of stupid nitpicks about this set, like the blue on the package. Like, really, is that really worth, like, causing a fuss over? And yeah, the clones aren't exactly pulled straight from Attack of the Clones. They're a hybrid between Clone Wars and the Attack of the Clones version. But, like, can't we appreciate that? That's kind of cool. Like, they look really cool. So, I personally really like this set. I think, despite its flaws, it's a really solid set. The price is pretty good for what you get, and I would love to see more sets like this. Like a Phase 2 version would be great. The main thing that I have a problem with is the fact that the Commander is here. I think LEGO just kind of caused themselves a big headache with that. They should have just left this guy in the UCS gunship, left it at that, because you don't really need many of those, and given us a sergeant or a lieutenant here, or even a captain, like, that would have been nicer. That's my main nitpick. Getting your hands on this set, like I said, it is exclusive to the LEGO store or LEGO Shop at Home. If you want to pick some up, I will put the link in the description to the Shop at Home page. I'm not guaranteeing it's going to be in stock, because there's a very good chance it's going to be out of stock, but keep an eye on it. They do restock every now and then. I would highly recommend you pick up one or two of these if you're a Star Wars fan, you like the clones, because this is the easiest it's ever been. Well, I don't want to say that. It's the easiest it's been in a very, very long time to amass clones. And it is the easiest it's ever been to get clones with the, like, really sharp V mouth, like the movie style. It's never been easy to get your hands on those guys. And this is the best these guys have ever looked, in my opinion. So I highly recommend it. Just keep in mind that there are some weirdness, like with the Commander. You just have to be willing to end up with a handful of Commanders. But I would say that you won't regret grabbing one of these if you're a Star Wars fan. Obviously, if you're just watching this video and you're not, like, hugely interested in the set and you just kind of wanted to see what all the fuss was about, then, you know, maybe check it out on the LEGO website, but it's not a must-have if you're not a clone fan. If you're a fan of the clones, it is a must-have, which is why I now have so many clones, because I was not going to pass up an opportunity to give myself a clone army. Because look at that. Look at how beautiful they are. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.